Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary here with a new video. Today, what I want to get into is why the Jets only have one choice at the quarterback position. Well, they really don't, but it actually is more like one choice, and I'll explain why. So, Derek Carr has taken now 2 meetings with the New Orleans Saints, and supposedly they have a trade in place between the Saints and the Raiders. He's been visiting a couple of times. He visited with his wife just to kind of see how they like the area and just the situation there. He hasn't taken any other meetings with any other teams around the league. Now, there's a chance that, that could totally change in the next few days, but his time is ticking. He only has until Wednesday. So that's a few days before the Raiders have to make their decision on whether they are cutting him or trading him. It feels like the Saints are a very likely landing spot. And I've been pretty clear with my stance at the or on the quarterback position for the New York Jets. I think they need to come away with either Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. I think it needs to be one of those two guys to be quarterbacking the Jets in 2023. I think there's a pretty big drop off from Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr down to the next batch of quarterbacks. And I think it's important for the Jets to be able to land someone who can get them to the playoffs next year. And that needs to be the goal for this Jets team because, well, they really haven't made the playoffs in 12 years. It's been entirely too long for this football team with this playoff drought. They need to get back there. It can't get to a 13-year playoff drought. And in order for that to change, I think the best way to do that is by landing an Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. And those are the two best guys on the market, in my opinion. So if Derek Carr is going to the New Orleans Saints, and again, maybe that changes in the next few days, that's just the feeling that everyone seems to have right now, then it has to be Aaron Rodgers. As again, what I just explained, he is someone who is on a different level. 3,600 yards, actually closer to 3,700, 3,695 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and a 91.1 rating. Keep in mind, he was playing most of the year this past season with a broken thumb, and he was still able to put up those numbers. He was the MVP in the league in 2020 and 2021, so he's really not that far removed from legitimate elite quarterback play. And even if he isn't the elite guy, he still has those moments where he makes those elite throws, and he has that in him. You saw it against the Dolphins last year in the game on Christmas Day. All right, one of the best throws of the season he was able to make. And you come in here with the weapons that the Jets have, and Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzama, a revamped offensive line, the defensive rookie of the year in Sauce Gardner on the defensive side of the ball, an elite level defense, a fun coach. Like, those are reasons for a player to want to come here. But I just really worry about some of these other options that the Jets have. Before we get into those other options, I want to mention that BUSR is doing a sign-up match deposit bonus, so make sure that you use my code BUSR.com/Matt, especially if you want to gamble on the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. You can get in on the action by using my link BUSR.com, and when you sign up, you will receive a nice little welcome bonus from our friends, the official sportsbook of Matt O'Leary NY. Okay, so your other options for the New York Jets: Jimmy G. Now, Jimmy and Robert Saleh obviously have worked together. Not that Saleh, coaches the offense, and maybe that one would have made a little bit more sense if LaFleur stayed with the New York Jets. But after moving on from him, is Jimmy going to come here? I think, there's a good chance that he could end up with the Raiders, moving on from Derek Carr. And plus, he's always hurt. He misses significant time seemingly every year. Since going to San Francisco, he started 5 games, 3 games, 16 in 2019. That was the Super Bowl year. 6, 15, and 10 in his 6 seasons there. So he played a full season once in 2019 and with 16 games. And then last year he was pretty close. He played 15 games there and was okay. And that's the thing, he can be a good quarterback when he's on the field, but he just misses a lot of time. And with the Jets injury history, I don't know how you could potentially say, okay, yeah, let's put our eggs in that basket, because if you do, you better have a good backup plan, because there's pretty solid chance that he gets hurt. And then your other option is Ryan Tannehill. I think is okay, and yes, that would be an upgrade over what the Jets have. I understand that, but he's 35 years old now. He's sneaky an older quarterback. He's been around a long time. He missed 5 games this past year. He completed 65.2% of his passes, 2,536 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for a 94.6 rating. He impressed in his first year or two with the Titans, but kind of has taken a little bit of a step back the last 2 years, really since Arthur Smith left. That really hasn't been, or they really haven't been the same since Arthur Smith left for the job with the Atlanta Falcons. That offense has taken a little bit of a hit, especially in the passing game, but it drops off quickly is the point that I want to make. And while I would be on board with Carr, I don't think it's very likely that he's coming here. I think the Saints seems like the easier fit. So that leaves you Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be in an isolation booth for 4 days in the dark. So you better land him. I hope to God that Aaron Rodgers comes out of it and says, I want to be a New York Jet. They trade for him. Boom. That's it. Because the options beyond that aren't great. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.